Alright, math students, here we are. We are on the very last lesson of Chapter 1, and we're going to be dealing with multi-step real-world problems, okay, word problems that have multiple steps, and we have integers in those problems. Alright, now the good news is that these problems, all these ones here that we are going to work out, they are all going to be addition problems, okay, they're all going to be addition. Alright, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But let's back up to the last video you watched, 1.3b, and those were subtraction problems. Alright, we looked at real world subtraction problems. And remember what made them a subtraction problem? A subtraction problem went from they gave you the final, what happened at the end, and then they gave you a start, what happened at the beginning, okay, and then you just had to find out what happened from here to here, like what took place in between the final and the start to get from one spot to the other. Okay, that was a subtraction problem. We just got done dealing with those, and these multi-step problems, they're going to be addition, and what makes them different is we are not going to have a final and a start. We're going to have, we'll call it a sequence, alright? Which means it's just going to be multiple things that happen that we're just going to add up to see what took place. Okay, we're not going to have a final and a start number to go off of. We're just going to have a sequence of events that happened for us to calculate and find out what took place. Alright, let's take a look at these examples because it'll make it a little bit more clear as we go through this. Here's our first problem. Okay, we have a seal is swimming in the ocean 5 feet below sea level. Okay, so we're going to pause right here because we're just going to take this one piece at a time, and what we need to do is in these problems decide if these numbers are going to be positive numbers or negative numbers. Alright, if a seal is below sea level, that's negative, so I'm just going to put a negative sign here to know that that needs to be a -5. And let's take a look at what happened to the seal next. Okay, it kind of tells a story, it's a sequence of what's going on. Next, the seal, it dives down 12 feet. Okay, pause. If you're going to go down further, then that's also negative, okay, because you're going in a downwards direction. Okay, it goes down, it catches some fish. Great, the seal's happy. Then the seal swims 8 feet toward the surface. Okay, so it's going back up toward the surface. That is going to be positive 8 feet if it's going back up to the surface. Alright, we are looking for what is the final level of the seal. Okay, so what's the final level of this seal? So we just need to add up all these numbers in this sequence to find the final. Okay, and sometimes that's how you can tell if it is an addition problem, is if you're trying to find the final or the start. Alright, like you have a beginning and you're trying to find like the final or the start. Like we began at 5 feet below sea level and we're trying to find out where we're going to end. Okay, so that's another clue for addition. Alright, so let's add this up. We got -5 plus -12 plus +8. -5 plus -12 plus, and we'll just write that as an 8 because it's a +8. Alright, now we just need to add these together. Always start from the left and work your way to the right. So we're going to add up these two. They're both negative. Add like normal. -17. And I'm just going to drop the 8 down here next to that. And then we'll work that out. Alright. Okay, just going back to our rules of addition. If they are different, we have to subtract. So I'll take 17 minus 8, and that's going to give me 9. And then remember, we have to look at which number has a bigger absolute value. That's going to be -17. So -9 feet is going to be the location of the seal. It is 9 feet below sea level. All right, we just did problem number 1. Let's take a look at problem number 2. It's going to show you another sequence. It's going to kind of tell you a story here. We have Irene with a checking account. On Monday, she writes a $160 check for groceries. Okay, so here's our first piece of information. If you are writing a check, you are losing money, you're spending money, so that's going to have a negative impact to your bank account. Money's going to leave. Let's see what else she does. Then she deposits $125. Okay, she deposits, so that is positive. Money is going back into the account. Let's take a look at the last thing that happened. Finally, she writes another check for $40. She's writing another check. That's negative. All right. What was the total change to her account? Okay, this word total kind of gives us a clue that it's addition. And we also have this the sequence here, a series of events that took place. She did this, and then this, and then this. So that's going to give us an addition problem. All right, let's add this up. We started with negative 160 plus 125, and that's a positive 125, plus the last thing that happened was the check for $40. All right, there's our numbers in place. Let's just work from left to right. We're going to start right here. Let's do this operation first. All right, we're going to add these two, but they're actually different from each other, negative and positive, so we need to subtract. And when we subtract those, we're going to get 35. Okay, and it's going to be a negative 35 because the 160 is a bigger absolute value. Okay, so that comes out to a negative 35. Now, let's just drop down the rest of it. Now we're going to add our negative 40 to that. Okay, negative 35 and negative 40, they're both negative. We can add those up like normal. And when we do that, that is going to get us 75. Okay, so after all that stuff that she did, she has a negative balance of $75. All right, that's our answer there. Let's take a look at problem number 3. We'll work out another example. All right, here we go. This time we have Anna in a cave. She is 40 feet below the cave entrance. Okay. Now this is going to be another sequence of events because we have a few different things happening that we're going to find out. And also this time it gives us a start, like this is where she's starting, and we are trying to find the final. Okay, so that's another difference between the addition and subtraction, is we have only the start but we don't have the final. Alright, if it was subtraction, we would have both the start and the final, and we're going to find what's in between. But this time, we have a start, we're trying to find the final, and we have a sequence of different things that happened. Okay, just some information for you when you're trying to decide what to do for solving these word problems. Alright, let's take a look now. We have Anna. She is 40 feet below the entrance of the cave. So if she's 40 feet below the entrance, this is going to be negative because she is down inside the cave. She descends 13 feet. Descends means you're dropping down further. Okay, so she's going to go down into the cave even further. Then ascends, that means going upwards 18 feet. So this is going to be positive because she's going back up now. We're going to find what is her final position. Okay, let's put all these together into an addition problem. We have negative 40 was the first thing that happened, plus negative 13 plus positive 18, because that's when she went up. Alright, working our way from left to Right, we're going to do this first. Both of these are negative. That's good news. We can just add those up, and that's going to get us negative 53. Those two added together. Let's just drop down our plus 18. Now these two are different, so we need to subtract them. And when we subtract those two numbers, that is going to get us 35. Now we have to decide if it's positive or negative. The negative 53 has a bigger absolute value. It's further from 0. So this answer is going to be negative since that had the bigger absolute value. Alright, negative 35 feet is her new position. Alright, she is 35 feet below the entrance of the cave now. Okay? If you think you have a good handle on those, do the try this problem.